Well, after the contentious farm bills, now the government is moving fast to bring in labour reforms, and 3 new codes have been cleared by Parliament. How exactly do they change the lives for employers and employees? We are breaking it down. But just to put this into context, the government has set out to consolidate the 44 labour laws into 4 different codes. Already last year, the wage code bill has been cleared by Parliament. It has been notified. We are waiting for it to get implemented. But these 3 new labour reform code bills that have been cleared by Parliament are the ones I'm telling you about. The Social Security Code, the Code on Industrial Relations, and the third one is the Code on Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions. The headline takeaways, if you consider all 3, are that they make it easier for companies to hire and fire employees. Also, it becomes difficult for workers to go on strike. And it's easier for employers to do business for sure under this set of codes. And they expand the net of social security, very importantly, to all classes of workers across the board. And importantly, the 3 codes put a lot of onus and give a lot of empowerment to the states to decide how they want to adapt the labour reform. So let me break it down further. The Code on Industrial Relations first. Under this, the code gives all the firms that have 300 or fewer than 300 employees the right to close down units and to retrench staff and employees. Earlier, that law applied only to firms that had 100 or fewer than 100 employees, and even larger firms that are employing more than 300 workers or more than that. Then they can write to the centre and ask them for permission to shut down a unit and retrench staff. But if they don't get permission, then they can go ahead and it is deemed as an approval. So yes, they don't get a response, they can retrench staff. This is significant. It's coming at a time when unemployment is very high in the country. It's at historic highs right now. About workers calling for strikes, they need to give a 60-day strike notice under this code. It's mandated. And the case, if there is a case that is in a tribunal, then they have to wait for another 60 days until after the end of proceedings in that particular matter. So yes, currently it's about 4 to 6 weeks. It varies the kind of strike notice you need to give, but it applies to all industries. This code is bringing in parity among all industries. And though flash strikes, they're not deemed illegal under the new code, they are discouraged under it for sure. Also, this code legalizes hiring of employees for a fixed term and deems such fixed term employees at par with regular workers. And that brings us to the Occupational Code as well. Now, this concerns a lot with contract workers. Under it, there will be a single license that firms need to seek who wish to hire contract workers. So it becomes easier to conduct a business. Also, it is mandated that all employees get an appointment letter when they are hired. The code also ensures the portability of the public distribution system, the PDS, and other benefits like the construction cess that should help the interstate migrant workers who are employed by firms on a contractual basis. It's going to help the centre as well as the state to create a database of migrant workers for sure. And also the code is mandating that there should be no gender discrimination across all work types. And coming to the Social Security Code, that's the third one that the Parliament has given a nod to. It provides for universal social security for almost 90% of India's workforce. That's roughly 50 crore workers that we are talking about. They come from the unorganized sector, they come from the platforms, they come from the gig economy as well. So under it, the 5-year work criteria that existed for earning gratuity, that is gone. So you don't have to wait to complete 5 years in a firm to get your gratuity under the provisions of the new Labour Reforms Code. So basically, in a nutshell, that's what we have as the takeaways from the 3 new labour reforms.